big part of why anyone would want to do a video on mental health is because they want this to like be like informative. I've always been different. I definitely stood out in most groups of kids my age. And then I came into 7th grade. I just got picked on really badly. It was moving from private school into public school. I think that the facets of my personality that maybe made me a little bit like annoying or weird or odd weren't things that really bothered me back in private school, because kids weren't gonna go and like ostracize you for it. I don't know if it's just because kids are just kind of learning how society works, but there's a really weird power struggle that exists in middle school. A few of them will become these like really vicious monsters who will do anything to put down the one who's different. It's just true. It's not a victim thing. I guess it's how the human mind works. It definitely turned me into a person who sees himself as smaller than everyone else, and I don't think I'll ever get that back. A 23-year-old man, that I'll ever be like the same level of okay with society. I was like a philosophically pessimistic teenager, as any teenager, then dealing with like new thoughts on what it means to exist. So my ideas on what it meant to exist just kind of became really pessimistic as well. So you had all at once, at about like 15 or 16 years old, the entire light of things being okay and meaningful and purposeful and worthwhile snuffed out. A huge part of it is like no one even knows that I'm like bisexual, and I think it's like a huge part of it.
Do you think that the sexuality plays a part?
Yeah, because I had like religious parents, so I guess coming up into that, it's gonna like make it so that your identity can never be, it's always gonna be partially filtered. Like you're not going to go into the world as yourself anymore. This one thing that should be small and insignificant is suddenly the most like contentious part of your life. Part of like what happened in 7th grade when I got bullied, they started these really nasty rumors about me, and like the rumor was that I took a picture of another kid while he was showering. I definitely learned to make myself alone as a means of avoiding certain like byproducts of being depressed and not having to engage with it with other people. And then I was only engaging with it alone, and that just turned into my suicidality. Suicidal during high school, that kind of went down a bit once I came into college. I think just being in a more like open social place, meeting the wonderful Andrew Wilms. It was a year ago. I decided that I would be killing myself at the end of 2019, and this will be my final year, and then I'll kill myself. I told my girlfriend at the time, and we weren't doing too well at the time anyway. Someone who decides to kill themselves probably isn't in a mentally healthy enough place to have like a good relationship. I told her, and she should not have been with me then. She shouldn't have stayed with me to now propose to me. So she's my fiance now. Did I even tell you that?
Congratulations.
Yeah, so my girlfriend told my parents I'm heavily suicidal, and she's like having to deal with like the fact that I'm very comfortable with dying. You're just gonna snap. Yeah, I was like so comfortable with it. I knew what I was doing was extreme. Maybe I didn't know until I talked to someone though, just how like detached I had become. Because then like you're literally like conveying the message to them and you're still okay with it. Last day of the year was December 31st, and I kind of thought about that, and I thought, what meaning, if I'm saying there's no meaning in life, I was really sick about that, you would think that would be like, okay, then just don't do it. With me, it was like, well, then why wait? So I ended up like cascading very quickly into a much worse place. 2 weeks into the year that I told her, and then a couple more weeks for to tell my parents, and now we're in the heart of February. Every single day that I drove to school, Thursday, and I drove to school and I called her that day and I said, hey, I'm really worried. I feel like I'm going to like act on this. She texted my mom texted me, and I'm telling them both, I'm good. But whenever I knew that it wasn't true anymore. And it was like the first time in my life where I asked myself if I was going to do it, and the answer was yes.
Thank you all so much for watching my video on suicide featuring Christian Cline. If you guys are interested in seeing more videos, such as an update video from him or an update from his girlfriend, click the video right over here.